birthday tomorrow. Please give it up for Mark Riley.
Keep it going for Mark Turcott. Jerry, she did fantastic. Yes, it is my birthday tomorrow. You all have heard that saying, beware of the Ides of March. It has nothing to do with Caesar. It's all about me. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I will tell you that it's the same number as my waist size, which is not the best thing right now. And I can see if the trend continues, my AARP years are going to be something else. My wife's birthday is this month too, and we were going over my schedule for the month as far as doing comedy, and I told her, you know, what dates I was booked. She said, you booked a show on my birthday? I said, what? She said, when's my birthday? The correct answer, people, is not, let me check Facebook. That is wrong. I found that out. Had a good day at work today. I should let you know I work for the post office. And I'm looking around, I see a few nervous faces. But don't worry, I am not disgruntled. I am merely and only gruntled. So that's good. Started out my day, my boss told me to have a good, safe, and productive day. I was like, pick one, I don't multitask. You know, working for the post office, it takes standards. I actually saw a guy that worked at the post office for an hour and a half and got let go. An hour and a half. He was being walked out of the building, and I was like, dude, you didn't even make it to the part of the orientation where they teach you to lock and load. What's up with that? I like to read the little notes that people put on the letters that they want to send back. Earlier this week, I had a letter from one of the insurance companies that was addressed to the safe driver at 545 Shore Road with a little note that said, not at this address. What kind of driving record does that guy got? Let me know when he's driving. I'm off the side roads, you know? A couple weeks ago was school vacation week, and I had a kid come out of his house, and he wanted to get the mail from me. So I'm getting the mail together, and he hauled off and he punched me. Punch buggy red, no punches back. I know the rules of the game. I can't hit him. He said no punches back. But here's what I want to know. If he didn't say that, what's the postal regulation on that? Is that little bastard fair game? I deliver mail in Cape Elizabeth, and I gotta tell you, this time of year is great. There's no tourists. I mean, I know tourists bring a lot of money into the state, but they get to be a pain in the ass. I've gotten to the point now that if I see an out-of-state car pulling up and pulling over and rolling down the window, I don't even wait for them to ask the question. I just tell them, a mile down the road on the left. And they get like this frozen look, and they're like all confused and everything. And then they finally ask me, could you tell me where Portland Headlight is? A mile down the road on the left. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 40s. It's going to be good weather. It's nice. Yeah, spring next week, right? We're like 5 days away. Just look outside, you can tell. Yeah. And I know it's going to happen tomorrow because it's in the 40s. The women on my route are going to be asking me, how come you're not wearing your shorts? And you can't blame them. Look at me. I look at myself in the mirror and I think, I'd do me. And sometimes I do. I'm going to let you just think about that for a second. I went shopping this afternoon. I went over to the Big and Tall store. I had no idea they didn't sell condoms. I see you looking at me now. My eyes are up here. Okay? There you go, Jerry. You too, sir. Have you ever noticed when you go shopping, the cashier wants to ask your zip code? What the hell is that about? I just want to get my stuff, I want to pay for it, and I want to get out. They ask all the time, what's your zip code? Well, working for the post office, I know a few. One day I might tell them 04765, Patton, Maine. The next day I might tell them 04005, Biddeford, Maine. Although, let's be honest, who's going to admit to being from Biddeford? Right? I mean, the only thing worse than that is Lewiston. Am I safe saying that? Is everyone from Auburn? Yeah, okay. I've decided just to be consistent when they ask me, though. From now on, they ask my zip code, I'm going to tell them. 90210. What are you laughing at? I don't look Beverly Hills to you. I had to go to the doctor recently. How many people like to go to the doctor? Yeah, nobody. It was like a collective groan. I hate it too. My doctor, every time I go, wants to give me crap about my weight. Doc's like, Mark, don't you want to put yourself first and do something about your weight? I'm like, Doc, I do put myself first. In the buffet line. I'm working on my girlish figure. Unfortunately, right now it's a pregnant girl. Due in a couple months. My doctor sent me to go do a stress test, and it worked. Just the idea of me on a treadmill. It's pretty stressful. I showed up to the appointment and got changed, and I went into the room, and there it was, the treadmill. I immediately broke into a sweat. And then I found out the good news. The nurse told me that I didn't actually have to get on the treadmill. They have a thing now that they can hook you up to an IV and make you feel like you're on the treadmill. You don't actually have to get on it. I just had to sit on the edge of the bed and kick my feet a little bit. That was cool. And she's explaining to me the process. She said, you're going to start to breathe heavy. And I already was, because she was pretty hot. And then she said, you might feel funny in your head. And I'm thinking, how'd she know I was a comedian? I also had to go recently for an MRI, get some stuff checked out. And I don't know if you've done that, but well, they called me ahead of time. They went through a bunch of questions. One of the questions they asked is, are you claustrophobic? I said, no, not at all. I had an MRI before, back in high school. Of course, that was like 150 pounds ago, but no problem. I showed up to the appointment. I got changed. I went into the room. They're laying me out on the machine, getting ready to put me in, and they handed me a button. I said, what's this for? They said, this is in case of an emergency. I said, okay, no problem. They get me into the machine. I didn't last 15 seconds. I was pushing that button like nobody's business. People down the hallway may have heard me. Get me out of here! They got me out of the machine. I'm just feeling so awful. And the woman says to me, she's reassuring me, don't worry about it, it's okay, it happens a lot. I know what she was really thinking. This guy's got a problem with premature evacuation. Mark mentioned that I came up from Portland. I don't know if you see sometimes that Portland has different national polls that they rank high on. Last summer, Travel and Leisure magazine ranked Portland the number 18 snobbiest city in America. Number 18. I think we can do better. I will say this, though. I'm not really sure how we got to number 18 because my mother-in-law doesn't live there. You don't know my mother-in-law. You can't say that. Once you meet her, oh, yeah, I understand. I got you. My mother-in-law heard me tell my wife that, and she's like, you know, payback's a bitch. I'm like, so are you. We went to Vegas on a trip recently, and Vegas is fun, right? People been to Vegas? Anyone? Nobody? No world travelers here. Let me tell you about it. There's a lot of things to do in Vegas. All kinds of things. The Vegas Strip is just packed with action. I actually saw, they have the TV show Vegas Strip. Have you seen that? It's one of those cop shows. I was out on the Strip, and I actually got to see the camera crew from that show. I'm not sure when my episode is airing, but I will tell you that I was framed. While we were out in Vegas, my wife and I renewed our wedding vows. I thought that'd be a romantic, nice thing to do. I didn't think it all the way through, though, because now I have 2 anniversaries to remember. I've got two presents to buy. I had to pretend that I like my in-laws again. I actually like my in-laws. I do when they're nowhere around. It's good. My wife likes to take weekend trips with me. We went up recently to Jackman, Maine. Y'all are excited about that, I can tell. The reaction is about the same as the action up there. It was pretty quiet. We went on a scenic flight, and we took one of those Cessna airplanes, or I like to refer to them as a smart car with wings. We're getting ready to get in the plane, and there's a bigger seat in back and a smaller seat up front. So I told my wife, I said, honey, I'll sit in back, you sit up front. The pilot looked at me and said, no, sir. We're going to need to balance the boat. Which I think is his polite way of saying, hey, fat ass. I'm not sure if this plane's going to come off the ground. Excuse me. My wife went to the freezer the other day, and she yelled back to me. She said, honey, what happened to all the ice cream bars? I said, you ate them. She said, I didn't eat any ice cream bars. I said, honey, when we got married, we became one. When I eat an ice cream bar, you eat an ice cream bar. All the husbands here are like, I'm going to use that story. I'm going to eat me some ice cream tonight. This is my second time being married. My first wife was from Korea. I remember when we were flying back, we left Seoul, Korea at 4:30 in the afternoon. We got to San Francisco at 10:30 in the morning, the same day. I bring that up because we just had, the was daylight savings time change. So it's kind of like time travel, so I wanted to do my time travel story. So when we got to San Francisco, I grabbed my phone, and I called back to Korea, and I asked for myself, because we hadn't left yet. I forgot a couple things. Didn't want to leave behind. My first mother-in-law and I got along great. I will say, sometimes you get along with your mother-in-law, sometimes you don't. My first mother-in-law and I got along great. She didn't speak English. I didn't speak Korean. We just looked at each other and nodded, smiled. Everything was fine. This is the second time we've been married, or I've been married, and I've learned a few things this time around. I've learned to always compliment my wife. I tell her all the time she's the best wife I have. I've learned not to tell jokes about my mother-in-law when she's in the room. And I've learned you got to keep the romance alive. You got to keep that spark going. Last week we were down to the Hannafords, and as we were walking in, I noticed the big display of flowers off to the left. And I went over and I grabbed the biggest, most beautiful bouquet I could find, and I brought it back to my wife, and I handed it to her. And we don't have a lot of money, so she couldn't keep it. But for the half hour that we were shopping, she felt pretty special. And you all have been great. Thank you all. Let's bring Heath back up.